again, everybody. It feels a little strange to be back here. I've been gone for a minute, but our travel season ended and we were getting into the holidays and we were getting into some other big things that changed. But we are about to kick off our travel season again. And we're about to get back to the point where it feels like we are going to be gone constantly, like all the time. Let's talk about what's happened. So our last trip was in October, and it was our anniversary trip. And I filmed the entire time. I filmed well, I thought. I thought we did a good job. And then things started happening. And I wasn't able to just sit down and get things done. And it was frustrating, but what are you going to do, you know? But on that trip, something happened. And it was early October, maybe end of September. So I guess it was the trip before that, the last video that I vlogged. Yeah, it would have had to have been the last video I vlogged. Something happened on that trip. And I didn't record it. I didn't want evidence of that happening. If you've watched before, you know that our 5-year-old now, he was 4 in the last video, he's 5 now, had a birthday in December. He is a daredevil. He is not afraid of anything. He is just out there, let's go, let's do all of the things, and it's adorable. So there was a ride that it's his favorite at the island, and it's the swings. And we're not sure what, like, legit, we're not really sure what happened. We had done it one day, and then the next day, we couldn't. Me and my husband tried to ride the swings with him because he's too short to do it on his own. So he has to have an adult with him. At the time, he was only like 32, 36 inches, somewhere around there. I think 32 inches. So he had to have somebody ride with him. And my husband tried, and the bar didn't click. And so I tried, and the bar didn't click. And he was crying, but I want to ride this. I want to ride this. It's my favorite. I love it. And he couldn't because I didn't fit. And I have said that for a few years now. Like, I never want him to miss out on anything because I don't fit. Broke me. Completely broke me. And I was not living a sedentary life. I wasn't overeating. I was still maintaining, basically, what I'd lost when I was on Manjaro years ago. And I had gained a little. But I'm not, like, for the most part, what I was eating was still around the same portion size. Doing more research, not really research, but more, I guess, note-taking, best way to put it. I realized I was eating way too many carbs. Way too many carbs, not enough protein, nowhere near enough protein. And if you would have asked me, I would have told you I eat a lot of protein. And I don't eat that many carbs. And then to see in front of me that that's actually been switched was kind of jarring. But I was walking with him. I was running after him, doing things with him. We were, not, I wouldn't say active, but we weren't sedentary either. But then I left there completely broken and also sick, I think. Pretty sure. No, I got sick the next. That's a whole other. Yeah, it was the last one. Um, but that happened, and so when we got home, I called to talk to a doctor, specifically a surgeon. So I had an appointment. No, I didn't. I called and scheduled, but I wasn't able to get in before the next trip. And we go on the next trip, and the same thing happened, but at a different place. Like, we fit on the swings that time, but we went to do a coaster with him at Dollywood, and he didn't fit. We didn't fit. My husband was the one who went and tried, and he was like, honestly, there's no way. There's no way you would, based on the difference. They tried to find a 14-year-old that was willing to ride with him, and they couldn't. And so we left the park crying because he was finally tall enough to ride this roller coaster, and he'd wanted to all summer, and he still didn't fit. He couldn't ride it because we didn't fit. And that just made me even more determined. And so I went ahead and I was like, I know some of the things that they're going to tell me to do. So that's when I started tracking everything that I ate. And I'm talking everything that I ate and drank. And I didn't even drink that much soda. But I really like my sweet tea and lemonades, and I was still doing, 1 or 2 sodas a day, depending on what was happening. So, nowhere near enough water. So, we left the park that day, like, even more determined. And, like, it was the next week or week after that I had a follow-up. But yeah, on that trip, like, another reason that I didn't finish vlogging, like, I think I tried to finish, but didn't. I got the stomach virus on that trip and was miserable. It was horrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible experience. But anyway, that's not even a part of the story. So, I met with a surgeon the middle of October and talked to him and was like, hey, this is my history. These are my genetics. These are the things that I've done. This is something that has worked, but not worked well enough. I have been considered obese since I was 12 years old. And something has to give because he will not be punished because of my bad choices. And he was like, yeah, like, you could try the shots again, but we are also not sure what your long term would look like. And so I was like, well, I need long term. He's 5 almost. At the time he was still 4. We need long term because I need to stick around for him, and I need to be able to do things for him. And I need to be able to enjoy doing things with him. I need to have the energy and the ability to do things with my child. And he was like, okay, well, here is this long list of things that you need to get done. You need to meet with a dietitian. You need to meet with cardio. You need to meet with pulmonary. You need to meet with psych. You need to have an EGD done. When you get everything on this list done, we'll see you back in about 2 months. It'll take you about 2 months. Yeah, because he said, we'll see you mid-December. And I was like, Done. Okay, I already have a cardiologist. I already have a pulmonologist. I've already been receiving therapy for years. It's not going to take me 2 months. And it didn't take me 2 months, for the record. It did not take me 2 months. So he went ahead and he scheduled my EGD, which is where they run the light down your throat. He went ahead and scheduled that just to make sure everything was okay. There weren't any hernias or anything like that. And I want to say that was like early November ish. November, I don't know. I can't remember dates. But it was like early November. And I left the office that day and I called my cardiologist and said, "Hey, I have an appointment with you next week. Can you also get this paperwork ready to sign off for me to be able to have bariatric surgery?" Sure, why not? I called my pulmonologist. "Hey, I have this appointment scheduled with you," which was the day before my EGD was scheduled. "Could you get the paperwork together to sign off on bariatric surgery?" Sure, why not? Um, and then I also see a mental health nurse practitioner. So I have a therapist that I see once a week, and then I have a mental health nurse practitioner that I'd been seeing once a month for almost a year now. But he was, when my dad passed in April, he put me on some medication. And so he had to monitor that. So I've not seen him exactly every month, but we're established at this point and we have a pretty good relationship. And so I called his office and was like, "Is this something you can do? Like, it says I need a psych eval. I've seen you for months. I get therapy once a week. Is this something that I need? Like, if you tell me I need it, I'll do it. But is it something you can sign off on?" And he's like, "Done. I'll write the letter and I'll email it today." Called Monday. Sure enough, they already had it. So I get to the EGD with everything else done. And this is mid-November. It took me about 3 weeks to have everything checked off my list. I also met with a dietitian like the week of. It was great. Everything just fell into place. And I said the absolute perfect date to have the surgery is December 19th. That's my birthday. A lot of big things happen on my birthday. I got engaged on my birthday. It would be great if I could have the surgery on my birthday and like entering this new year, like very symbolic. But also, they told me it's about a 2-week recovery. So my husband is a teacher and his 2-week Christmas break started on December 19th. And I was like, that's honestly perfect. And his boss agreed, like, "Hey, if she does have surgery this day, yeah, you can have that day off. We'll just move your final scheduling around." So I went in like, December 19th is perfect. Yeah, absolutely. And then the day I got my EGD, they scheduled a follow-up for December 18th. And I was like, "Oh, could I have surgery then?" And they're like, no. And I was like, "Oh. But I have everything done and I'm ready. Could I have surgery then?" No. So I was like, okay. So I was like, well, I'm also doing laundry. And my washing machine is messing up. But I was like, "Hey, I'll just email the nurse and that way I'm not just sitting here idle. I can follow up on stuff, make sure she has everything, make sure that everyone's sent in things." Because I'd only actually had hands on one other piece of paper to make sure that it's done. So I was like, I'll just email her and just see what I can be doing while I wait. And I emailed her and I didn't hear from her for a week. And then I finally hear back from her and she was like, "You're done. You're right. You're done. And I've showed the doctor and he wants to know if you can be here in 2 days. First thing in the morning." Absolutely. Yes, I will be there. So I'd also asked, like, "Hey, What are we looking at? What kind of dates are we looking at? Because December 19th is perfect. And she was like, I'm really sorry, but no, he's going out of town that day. He won't be doing surgeries. And I was like, oh, well, I'll do what I got to do. You know, whatever happens, happens. I've got faith in this. Like, I know that I'll have it when I should. Okay. So I go into the appointment. Like, this is Tuesday. I go into the appointment Thursday, and the nurse comes in to do my vitals and everything, and she goes, hey, December 19th. And I said, what? What about it? And she said, you're having surgery that day. And I said, no, I'm not. He's going out of town. What? And she said, no. I talked to him. He doesn't want you to have to wait any longer. He is willing to come in and just do your surgery before he leaves that morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is perfect. This is everything working out. Like, I've told so many people, if I did not believe in God before, boy, would I have by the end of this, because the way things just fell into place. It was fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Just, anyway. So he comes in, he confirms December 19th. These are the things you need to do. You already have the educational paperwork to know your diet. That's going to start fairly soon. Be prepared. Do you have any questions? Nope. Thank you. Let's go. So we did, starting early December, was my diet change. Totally fine. And then didn't have any trouble at all, really. And I was like, I don't understand why people are like complaining about this. This is fine. And then it hit the liquid only diet. And I was like, oh. Well, even before that, when I was on, the week before, I could have one meal a day. And that was dinner. And it had to be high protein, low carb. And everything before that was just water and protein shakes. And I hated it. And I was so tired all the time because I don't have calories at this point. I'm just exhausted and miserable, I thought. And then I started the liquid only diet and I was like, oh no, this is misery. This is what I should have been worried about. I didn't prepare myself for this. I didn't prepare myself for always being hungry. I didn't prepare myself for never having the energy that I need to live my life. Like, I'm still running 4 days a week. I still have a 5-year-old. I'm planning a birthday party. We hosted a birthday party through this diet. And it was miserable, but it was worth it. And then I had surgery and I felt great. I didn't have any issues, really. Nothing major. For 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. And then the bottom fell out. And I got really sick. Really, really, really sick. And had multiple health issues. People were asking me to go to ER and I was like, I can't. Like, I just have a hospital bill. I can't go to the emergency room too. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I just need hydration. And so I went and got an IV and was still miserable. And it helped a little, but not enough. And I'm telling myself, like, oh, I'm just like the people in my 600-pound life who they're lying to themselves. Because I gained weight. I gained weight during a weekend. And I'm thinking I'm just lying to myself about how much I actually am eating. And I'm not eating well. And I'm not eating the right things. And this was the whole point of this. And what am I going to do? I'm completely failing at everything, it seems. And I'm miserable all the time. Like, I was rarely out of the bed for a month. And I'm talking to other people, and other people are trying to help and trying to give suggestions, but nothing's working. I'm not getting my protein. I'm not getting my water because doesn't feel to me like I'm doing any intake, but I have to be lying to myself. I feel like if I'm gaining weight. And so a friend of mine who loves me and is very intelligent and it doesn't let me away with things, like she doesn't care to tell me when I'm wrong, came to visit. And it was during the weekend that I gained weight. And she's getting on my nerves because she's like, drink your water. Just suck it up and drink it. She's adding things to the water. And I'm just like, I don't like that. I don't like the way it tastes. I'm already sick and now it's getting worse. Like, liquid IV is nasty. I thought I would love that, but it's so salty. And she's like forcing it. And she's making me plates of food and bringing it to me like, I don't want this. I can't eat it. And I'll try. And then after she left and I went to the doctor, I went to a couple of doctors, she called me and was like, honestly, I was scared to death. There was an adult meeting where you were not present saying that if you did not do certain things by certain times, you weren't going to have a choice. We were going to have to take you to the emergency room, and it was which one of us was going to go. And I was like, no, that's ridiculous. Like, why? And she said, because you ate 3 bites in a day. And you didn't even drink half a bottle of water most of the weekend. And we were worried. We were really, really concerned for you. So I was like, okay, well, I think I might be getting better. And I wasn't. It took me going to my PCP and finally being like, hey, I feel like I'm dying. And I don't know what to do. I'm scared to death. I did this thing to have a life and to be able to enjoy it and be able to enjoy time with my child. And instead, I'm dying. It will be what takes me out of this world because I can't even get out of bed. I can't spend time with my kid because I can't get out of bed. And he put me on a ton of vitamins. He did a lot of blood work and was like, we're just going to go ahead, start you on them. If we get it back and see that you're good, you don't have to take them. But we're going to start it. Thank you so much. He gave me a B12 shot that day, and my entire world changed again. And I was able to eat more, and I was able to have more endurance. And I got out of bed that evening. And talking to him and talking to my dietitian, my body went into not starvation. My body went into survival mode, and it wasn't absorbing vitamins well. And B12 is what helps convert food to energy. And if I'm B12 deficient, then I'm not going to be able to do that well. And no wonder I don't have any energy, and all of my vitamins basically are low. And so I'm anemic at the same time. This is a problem. But after the B12 shot, like, everything changed. I was able to start eating again. I was able to start doing more protein again. I found other protein drinks that I could tolerate. I started being able to tolerate the protein powders a little bit more again. At this point, I'm back to full diet. So I'm able to have anything I want within a certain, so much of anything I want. Bread is terrible. I hate bread now. basically your more carb heavy meals, the worse I feel. And I can always tell when I'm getting close to my B12 shot, because that's when I feel real bad, real bad. Less energy, harder to eat, things like that. But that's where we were. That was back in January, February. I did another EGD January 27th during a snowstorm. They came back with no problems. It was the wildest thing, the darndest thing. And when I went back to my PCP and I had all of these things saying, no, you're fine, but I feel like I'm dying, I thought, right now I'm going to be labeled the whiny white woman. Like, that's a thing. People are starting to finally talk about that. That's a thing in the medical world. And no one's going to believe me. Maybe this is all neurological. Maybe I'm just crazy. And thank God my doctor is my doctor. He's wonderful. I love him. He is so sweet and so patient. And he was like, hey, you can have everything look normal. And you can still feel miserable. And that's a thing. And he was explaining, like I mentioned before, like my body went into survival mode. And when that happens, you can be doing everything right, but your body is like storing things. A lot of times when people will hit a plateau in weight loss, they were explaining to me that's because their body is like, okay, we're safe here. We're good here. We don't want here to change. And then you have to push it and push it and push it and show your body, hey, this is okay. We can still live. And then that's when the weight suddenly drops. And you'll see not like just a 1 or 2 pound. You'll see like 5 to 10 pounds. And I'm not a medical professional. I am simply telling you things that I have been told lately. But yeah, as of recording this, it is May 22nd. No, March 22nd. I'm just over 3 months post-op, and I've not weighed in about a month. It's been close to a month since I've weighed. At that point, I was down 50 pounds from the initial appointment. I have dropped for surgery day to the last day I weighed. I was down 30 pounds. So 30 pounds in just over 2 months. And that's not bad. I was hoping for more at that point. But I realize now, like, that was also slightly delusional. I have dropped 4 pant sizes. And the first time I got to go shopping, my husband allowed me to go get some clothes to wear because I was out of things. I was wearing 3X, like joggers, sweatpants, stretch pants, whatever. And I got 3X and 2X. And I went to the changing rooms. And the 2X was too big. And I was like, okay, this is good. I was elated. I go and keep my 2X, and I get a 1X. And they were too big. And I thought, no, this is not right. That's not correct. And so I go back and I keep my XL and I get a large. And I go to the dressing room and I think, I put these on. They're not going to fit. I'm not expecting them to fit. I'm probably somewhere between here. And I put them on, and they were comfortable. They weren't too big. They weren't too tight. They were comfortable. And I was shocked. I was absolutely just floored. Didn't see it coming. And I am crying so hard in the dressing room because I've not had on a pair of large pants since high school. And then when I went to get jeans, and I went from a size 24 to a size 16. Nobody could tell me nothing that day. Not a single person could tell me anything. And I was just... I'm still amazed. So, I've finally been cleared for strength training. I've not been able to start that, but that's just been because of the schedule lately. I've been cleared for strength training, and I'm going to try to start that back this week. I needed to do research, and then by the time the research was done on what I needed to do, I didn't have access or evenings available. And so now I think we're finally at the place where I have both, and I'm good, and things are working out well. And I had been walking a mile every morning, and then first there was a lack of availability again, and then there was a lack of motivation again, and I just got lazy. And I want to say that it's because I know that it's almost time for a B12 shot, and I just don't have energy. And then another part of me says, that's a lie, you just didn't want to. So there is that, and I need to get better about that again. I have been doing my vibration plate. I don't think I mentioned that on here. It was something that I got after. I love going to Planet Fitness and doing the total body. And if you have Planet Fitness nearby, please do total body. Please do total body. It's wonderful. But it's a vibration plate and red light. And, helps with the vibration plate, can help with exercise, and it can help with lymph drainage and all weight loss and all of these other things, muscle recovery. And the red light is good for skin rejuvenation, scarring, healing. And so I was like, oh, well, I can do red light therapy and vibration to help me get ready for surgery. And then after surgery, it can help me recover. And so we can go from there and see. And so I was finally cleared for vibration a couple weeks ago. Not quite a month, I don't think. But I was cleared for vibration, and I've been doing that, 3 to 5 times a week. I do red light most nights of the week. And so I've been doing that, and kind of as a workout too on the vibration plate. Cause there's things you can do on there. It's wonderful. But I'm just so thankful that I'm finally at the point where I'm able to do those things. So, all of that because my boy wanted to go on a ride. And we're gonna. I'm really excited for some upcoming trips that we've got. That's gonna be in another video. It was in full intention of just one 10-15 minute video, and here we are 35 minutes in, and I've had to change this video because I've talked about bariatric surgery too much. So that's going to be in a separate video, what all we have coming up. And I just got a text message that I wasn't expecting, so there's that. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on it. Oh, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. I'm really excited about it. How funny that this text message comes in while I'm filming a video. This is going to be in another video. It's going to be in the video about what do we have coming up. But all of that to say, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. I'm wearing shirts that I haven't worn. I didn't realize I was that close to this. This shirt was too tight at our last Disney cruise. And I think I wore it one more time and then I was like, I don't like it. It's just uncomfortable. And it's very comfortable now. Like it fits. I'm down several sizes and this finally fits. And it's a 3X. So, about women's sizes. But that's not the point. I'm wearing clothes again that didn't fit before that I loved, and I'm able to do things and I have energy and I'm so excited, but I can ramble about this all day long. And this is already 30 something minutes. So stick around. There's a lot coming up this season. We'll probably take another break once we're done traveling for the year. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys. So if you have had bariatric surgery and you have like a success story, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But yeah, I'm really excited to be able to show you guys all of the things that I can finally do now that I'm also prioritizing me and my health. So, thanks for watching, guys.